life itself is the biggest test ever. It's the biggest test, Life always on the move. It never stops. There's something always happening. You're either doing progress or you're going behind. In life, you're either making progress or you're going behind. There's no other way. Life is like having a garden. When you clean up the garden, you cut the garden, what happens? You're very happy because it's clean. Your house looks nice. Your backyard looks spotless. You're like, oh, wow, it's beautiful. Leave the garden for 1 week. What happens? Very slowly, it starts growing back. The herb, the negative ones, the bad ones. You can't rest for too long. And later on, after 2 weeks, it's the bush again. That's life for you. You make a business, you try to work hard on it, and it's working very flawlessly. Very shortly, you start experiencing issues and difficulties. If you don't take care of it, if you don't present yourself to it, if you don't look after it, if you don't do thorough research, you must always continue doing it. And it's crazy because even when you associate people that are very close to you, such as family members, it just fails. I don't understand how business among family members, especially black people, fail. Don't tell me you cannot do business as family members. It's a lie. The Greeks built business together as brothers of one family, and they thrive. Look at the Pakistanis. They're capable of doing it. How come black people always fail? How come every time I hear black people talk about business, the first thing you hear them say, do not associate family members in your business? I don't understand that. It's like family black people members just mess up people's business. I don't get that. Anyway, fellas, what's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is home. Hey, you're welcome. My name is Zack. I welcome you. We like you here. We see you. I don't know where you're from the US. I don't know where you're from. It doesn't really matter. Welcome. Please click on the button and subscribe so you can see each other every single day. Here we talk about the motherland, Africa. You want to know anything about Africa, you're probably going to find it here. Okay? We're going to talk about it. Today, we're going very quickly across Africa, see what's happening. Some crazy stuff happening between Niger and Benin. They've closed the border. These are two brother countries that don't get along at all. Are they going to go to war? We're going to find out about this. Okay, fellas, so let's start first. We are in Niger and Benin. You see Niger here and Benin here. They're neighbors. Okay, neighbors. Basically, by the border, you find people that are same people. They speak very similar language. The bottom line is, in Africa, like I said earlier, many of these countries were just lies. They were created by the white man. In 1884, where here in Berlin, in Germany, that's where they came together, sitting together and have a discussion. They say, okay, fellas, we are all Europeans and white. Let's come together and have a discussion. What the discussion was about? The discussion was about, let's go loot Africa. But let's not go and unalive each other in Africa. Why did they have to have that discussion? Because they've killed each other so bad so many times in Europe. Germans fighting French, French fighting Spanish, Spanish fighting Italians. So they needed to go for once somewhere and loot without having to kill each other. That is where they came up with the plan. What's the plan? Let's divide Africa into small portions. These small portions are going to be called countries, and we're going to name them as we like. And that is how we're going to allocate some countries to specific colonizers. So these countries here were colonized by the French. These ones colonized by the British. These ones colonized by the Portuguese. So forth and so forth. That's how it was. So as you can see, Benin and Niger, the neighbors, people by the border speak the same language. It's a very similar situation between countries like Botswana and South Africa. You find people that speak Setswana in Botswana and people that speak Setswana in South Africa. They are the same people. Are they Botswanans or are they South Africans? Question mark. They were separated and they were told, okay, from now on you are South Africa, from now on you are Botswana. It's crazy stuff. Same in many other African countries. Anyway, Niger and Benin don't get along at all. Why? They were all colonized by the French. Niger, a few years ago, decided to kick out the French. They kicked out the French. And Benin, who's a very good friend of the French, doesn't like it. Now, Niger accused Benin of hosting French soldiers in the country because they believe these French soldiers in Niger are there to find a way to overthrow the government in Niger. Which government? The government is led by this general. This general came into power a couple of years ago. How did he come to power? It was not through ballot, not through elections. He came by force, reversing and overthrowing this president here. His name is Mohamed Bazoum. Mohamed Bazoum was a good friend of the French, so France loved him. Now, having a soldier and group of soldiers overthrew these presidents was not something French people liked very much. However, France has a tremendous relationship with Benin, so they're good partners. You would think Africans would come together against anybody else, but that's not the truth. The bottom line is Africans choose whoever they want to make friends. They don't care whether you're black or not. That's why I don't like these brotherhoods among black people. It's a lie. Brotherhood has to be proven. Now, Benin chose France over Niger. Yeah, Benin still hosts French soldiers up until now. The Nigerian leader, General Ramon Chani, announced indefinite closure of the border with Benin, accusing Beninese government of harboring French troops under the pretext of ECOWAS peacekeeping operation. So he's basically saying that Benin is hosting French soldiers that are there to train terrorists to overthrow the government, because the new government overthrew the previous government that was friend with the French.
Of the homeland and the government of Niger recall the ancestral ties that unite the people of Niger with the brotherly people of Benin, with whom we share the same populations and common interests. These ties, which have become institutional, have facilitated the signing of a military cooperation agreement between our two countries. However, in light of the security, political, and economic situation, this country has decided to consider aggression against Niger instead of supporting it. Indeed, the Republic of Benin has authorized the stationing of mercenary soldiers and war materials in preparation for an act of aggression planned by France in collaboration with certain ECOWAS countries against our country, despite the military cooperation agreement of July 11, 2022, binding our two states.
Benin has denied the allegation, insisting it does not host any foreign troops acting against Niger, and has repeatedly called for dialogue.
That Benin had massed troops at its border with foreign forces to invade Niger, which to any reasonable person is completely ridiculous. There is no reason for Benin to attack Niger or other Nigerians with foreign forces. We don't know where this is coming from. Is it just because they need a scapegoat, or I don't know. Anyway, in any case, we have not missed any opportunity to send messages to the Nigerian authorities about our willingness to cooperate to resume.
So basically, you have two countries that are very close to each other. You know, these fake countries created by white men. Usually, people from Benin will go to Niger and sell goods, sell food, sell simple things. Some of them have girlfriends both sides. So Nigerian people have girlfriends in Benin, and they cannot go see their girlfriend and have the, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because two people are not getting along. That's the crazy stuff happening in Benin right now. Let's take into consideration that Benin, a couple of days ago, signed a deal with the United States of America, bringing them into the land. So American soldiers will be stationed in Benin now, so they can do operation against terrorism across the region. Now, let me remind you that Niger kicked out Americans from Niger, and now Benin has accepted them. How does that feel to you? I mean, you have a brother, you know, you just kicked out some other dude from your place. Now your brother says, you dude that's been kicked out, you can come to my house and stay. How do you feel about that? Let me know how you feel about that.